It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by SureHold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, SureHold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
ShipShape, Florida's only boat improvement show, is being brought to you in part by Boatorama, the Robin Hood of the boating business, and by RPM Diesel Engine Company, so much more than an engine company, and by Excel Coatings, Florida's powder coating leader.
Thanks for tuning in to ShipShape, the Boat Improvement Show. I'm your host, John Graviscus, and I'd like to have you join us for the next half hour as we try to bring part of the marine industry into your living room via the TV set. Today we're going to be looking at installing a bow pulpit on our 24-foot Stamis project boat. Naturally, we're here on location at our home base, Seminole Boatyard in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, probably one of the cleanest and friendliest boatyards in all of Florida. Maybe you're thinking about fixing up your boat, but you're just not sure on how to do a particular project. Why don't you just go ahead and write it down on a 5x7-inch index card and send it to us, and we'll try to cover it here on the show.
Write your project suggestions to ShipShape, the TV show. Attention Project Director, Post Office Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida 33420. Or fax us at area code 407-626-4348.
And the really cool thing about sending in an idea is that if we use it, we're going to go ahead and send you out a free ShipShape t-shirt. These babies are 100% cotton and come with a pocket. Right now we need to hear a word from our sponsors, so please stick around.
Don't drift away. ShipShape will be right back.
The ultimate 3-in-1 boat hook from SureHold. Engineered to serve multiple purposes, this versatile 3-in-1 tool can be used as a traditional boat hook for docking and securing your vessel, for carrying a dock line to a pillar or cleat, for safely pushing off a dock space, and more. Compatible with all SureHold handles using the SureLock system, the SureHold boat hook is an essential tool for any successful boating adventure. SureHold. Clean and simple.
Now this place is called Beachcomber Fiberglass, located in Stuart, Florida, and with me is Michael Cohen.
John, nice seeing you
the
today.
owner and founder of Beachcomber. Good to see you, Michael. Now, we want to put a bow pulpit on our boat. What size do we go with?
Okay, John, we've got a variety of pulpits for different size boats. What size boat do you have?
We've got a 24-foot Stamis.
Okay, we would probably recommend our 36-inch pulpit, which is very similar to the unit you see here. This is a 48-inch model. We offer these at 30, 36, and 48 inches.
Okay, and you're recommending that we go with a 36-inch pulpit.
That's correct.
Now, why do you put a pulpit on the boat?
Two important reasons for a pulpit, John, is a more efficient anchoring system for bottom fishing or for picnicking. And even more important is to have an anchor readily accessible during emergency, during a loss of power.
I gotcha. Now, you're recommending that we go with something called an anchor roller.
Okay, we brought one out to show you. This is a particular anchor roll that we use with our units. It's made for us by a company out in California. We've been using them for many years, and they offer a lifetime warranty on these units.
I've got you. Price-wise, what are we looking at for a pulpit?
Our pulpits start at $289, John.
Fantastic. Now, I see that you've got something really cool going on over here. What's this all about?
John, this is one of the most popular things that we manufacture. These are fiberglass swim platforms.
Now, I know a lot of people are getting away from the teak dive platforms and they're going to the fiberglass.
That's correct, and that's where we fill the niche. Once people realize that they have an alternative to teak, or if they have a boat that's never had a platform on it before, they come to us, and a lot of the more popular boats, we already have all the specifications and the transom curves on file.
How do you accommodate those transom curves?
We are able to take a measurement off the transom, and after building these for approximately 10 years, we have a lot of that information there, or else we provide the owner with written instructions how to get the proper transom curve.
Well, Michael, I know you're running the busy shop, and I know you got to get back to work. We've got to head back to the project boat. Thanks for your time.
Nice seeing you, John.
Now, there's a couple of ways that we can mount our bow pulpit. Bert, why don't you go ahead and give us the lowdown on our options?
Okay, John. Actually, we have two different ways we can mount this bow pulpit. We could notch the pulpit to fit around a tow rail, or we could actually cut our deck and let it sit flush in the deck, but that's a lot of fiberglass work.
Well, I definitely don't want to start cutting the boat apart. Why don't we go ahead and notch the thing out?
Okay. John and I are going to lay down some lines so when we mount our bow pulpit and we get all done, we don't get down and look and say, hey, it's off to the left or off to the right, because you definitely don't want that. Okay, John, I got 12 inches there. Why don't you go ahead and put me a line on the back side.
Okay. Coming straight off. Now remember, our bow pulpit is 15 inches wide, so we have to make sure that we take the line far enough over. Then simply we're going to reverse the process by flipping the square over and extending it out the other way. Again, ensuring that we're at least 15 inches across. We want to have a nice square line to work off of.
Okay, John, I'll try that.
Okay. And there we go. I'm putting a center line on our bow pulpit. We've also taken a center line off the boat, and we're going to mate up both lines. It'll kind of be like a crosshair on a rifle when we're coming off of the boat, giving us a nice square fit. Bert, how's she doing?
I think I got it lined up, John.
Let me jump up here and get a visual. Okay.
Look pretty straight?
Oh, it's looking excellent. Good job. What's the next step?
Okay, John, what we need to do now is take our compass and find out where we're actually going to notch out our bow pulpit so it'll drop down over our tow rail.
Great.
We've positioned our compass 1 inch so we can transfer a line from our hull onto our bow pulpit. You just lay the compass along the hull, drag it back, and there's your line that we need to cut out.
Now, the reason we've gone with 1 inch is that's the difference between the flat part of our deck and the top of our tow rail.
We're using a saber saw to go ahead and notch out our bow pulpit. I went ahead and moved the cutting surface to match the angle of our bow pulpit. You also want to wear long sleeves and long pants when you're cutting fiberglass to keep the itch factor down, along with safety glasses and a good dust mask.
Well, it only took Bert a couple of minutes to notch out the pulpit. Let's go ahead and do a dry fit and see how she looks. Bert, I'm going to line up our crosshair again here, these lines.
All right, how's it look?
It looks real good. Everything's fitting pretty well. Why don't we go ahead and lay out our holes for the mounting process?
Okay.
Now, when you're laying out your holes, you need to take a few things into consideration, like where are you going to be drilling through your deck? Are there any obstructions? Are your bow wire lights underneath there? Anything else? Now, we've gone ahead and checked that out, and we're fine. But what we're also taking into consideration is we want to get as much grab on our deck as possible. And so we've positioned where we're going to be drilling through at about 7 inches apart. Bert, how's it look?
That looks pretty good, John.
Why don't you go ahead and drill it out?
All right. All right, got the last hole drilled out here, John. Let's go ahead and lay them out on the boat.
Okay, again, we want to go into this center line that we've worked off of, and we want this thing square.
Okay, I'll support the front. If you go ahead, once you square it up,
It
go
looks
ahead
good.
and spot them.
I'm going to go ahead and spot this. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's see what we got.
All right.
Good job.
I'll go ahead and hand me the drill, and I'll go ahead and drill them out.
Okay, we finished up drilling all the holes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our carriage bolts through. Now, one thing I might suggest is to go ahead and get yourself some starboard and to use it as a backing plate for inside your anchor locker. You also might want to take up the space in between your flat deck and your tow rail. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and make sure everything's lined up. Then we're going to pull it back off, lay down a bed at 5,200, and we've got ourselves a bow pulpit. Well, while Bert finishes up here, I want to go and check out some additional hardware our boat's going to need. But first, we need to go to break.
Don't float away. ShipShape. We'll be right back.
The SureHold One Bucket System is your storage and detailing solution, featuring an ergonomic corrosion-free rope handle, a bucket caddy to organize your supplies and lift them out with ease, a bucket grate to elevate your wash tools out of dirty water with integrated soap measuring cups, a bucket base that won't let your bucket scratch, tip, or slip, and a bucket lid that keeps tools secure and doubles as a comfortable seat. The SureHold One Bucket System, the world's best rope handle 5-gallon bucket. SureHold, clean and simple.
With the new bow pulpit that Beachcomber Fiberglass has made for us, it's going to change the line of the boat, and we're going to need to put a new bow rail on it. And I'm in Melbourne, Florida, at Boathouse Discount Marine, and with me is Don Gardner, the owner.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, Don. How do you determine what size bow rail to put on your boat?
Well, obviously you need to know what the width of your boat or the beam of the boat is going to be, the length that you want the bow rail to extend down the side of the boat or the gunnel of the boat, and also whether you want it fabricated out of stainless steel or aluminum.
Okay. Now, you have several choices. You could go with actually somebody building the bow rail for you, or in our particular case, I'm looking for surplus, and I'm hoping I came to the right place. Can you kind of tell us what the advantages of surplus might be?
Well, surplus is an extremely attractive way to go because of the cost savings. Our bow rails, we have 4 different sizes in stock that are made out of stainless steel. They're all welded, type construction, and basically they're all $150. Okay. And that versus $300, $400, $500 for a fabricated custom bow rail makes a big difference.
Fantastic. Now, naturally, we have to take into account the beam of the boat, and now these surplus rails. How do they measure up with beam and with height and all of that?
Well, if your boat has a pulpit on the front of it, you need to have the pulpit on the bow rail initially when you start. You don't want to add that after the fact. And the bow rail, as far as the beam, is very flexible. You have several feet that the bow rail can flex in and out to match your boat configuration. So.
You want to buy something a little longer, you can cut it down if you want. Height-wise, you can cut it down. Anything else we're going to need with our bow rail?
Basically, on the ones that we have in stock, you're going to need to purchase feet for them, and that particular would be determined by your configuration of your deck, whether you wanted round or rectangle type stanchion feet. And that's the only additional type material you're going to need is the feet and the screws.
So Don, you're looking at under $200. You've got yourself a brand new bow rail, stainless steel, and that's a tremendous value. Mm-hmm. Now I think what we'd like to do is take some of the hardware over to XL Coating and take a look into some powder coating that's available for our project. You might remember a few weeks back that we featured a T-top being powder coated. Had some oxidation, and the guys up at XL Coating really handled that. Well, I've got a very similar project with some of the hardware on our boat. You might remember Fred from XL Coatings. Fred, we've got these fighting chairs with some pretty heavy oxidation on them, and I was wondering what you thought.
Well, let's look at them, John. They don't look too bad. We can clean them up.
We've got some pretty heavy oxidation on it, and I don't know, should I throw them out or should we,
John, we can,
try to restore them?
We can restore these. We can clean them up and powder them, and they'll be like brand new.
Okay. We've got some other stuff here, Fred. We've got these are for our seats forward. Now this is aluminum, as well as some brackets, some bracketry.
Right.
I believe there's a little bit of stainless and aluminum together there.
Some of this has to be taken apart where it will melt. But we can take all this apart for you.
And we've got some grab rails from our hardtop that are stainless. And Basically, what I wanted to find out is, do we go with a different kind of powder coating with stainless versus aluminum, or do you use the same stuff?
No, we use the same stuff, John. What we got to do is new stainless or used stainless, we sandblast it and give it a good etch, and we powder right over the etch, and it sticks to it forever.
But you guys really have your work cut out for this.
Chapman's Corner is being brought to you in part by Captain Z's Fly Fishing School and Charter Service. Your adventure in light tackle fishing for the Space Coast.
Today on Chapman's Corner, we want to talk to you about a float plan and the information that's important to go into a float plan. A float plan is a piece of paper that you would leave with a relative, a friend, maybe the dock master, and it has general information about your vessel, the size of your vessel, the length of your vessel, the registration number, how many passengers you have on board today. Also very important to have in your float plan is where are you going with your vessel? What time do you expect to arrive at your destination point? What time do you expect to be back home? This way, if you leave this plan with somebody and you don't meet these time schedules, something's gone wrong. And that way, the dock master or your friend can notify the Coast Guard that, hey, my friend's vessel is overdue and something's gone wrong. In any case, it's an important piece of paper to fill out before you get underway. From Chapman School of Seamanship, this is Tom Dante.
Today on What's Hot on the Water, we're going to take a look at the Bayliner Jazz, and with us is Carlos Ruiz of Boatorama to explain the boat. Carlos, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to tell us about the Jazz.
Thank you, John.
Tell us about the boat.
Okay, in 1993, we came out with this boat called the Jazz. It's a 14-foot boat, 90 horsepower, blew people out of the water, and it turned the marine business upside down.
Absolutely. Now, Bayliner was the first to put that out.
We were the first one with that.
I gotcha.
Okay, for 96, what we did is we made the Jazz a little bigger and a little faster.
All right.
We have a 15-foot boat, 120 horsepower, that would do 45 to 47 miles an hour.
This is a big toy, and this is a big toy that goes real fast.
Yes.
I love it.
The thing with the Jazz is that will do everything your wave runner jet skis will do. Plus, it's a full foam boat.
Okay.
Being a full foam boat, it do things that other boats don't do.
Right.
Plus, the design that we have with our hull is a different design. That it makes it slide, makes it turn. We do all the turns, we do all the slides, we'll go on the water, we'll come right out of the water.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Let's talk about some of the other uses of the boat. Can people ski off this?
You can ski 1 or 2 persons out of it. You can ski out of it, John.
You gotta be kidding me.
No.
Plenty of power.
Plenty of power.
Let's talk about some of the other amenities that come with this boat, Carlos.
Okay, this boat, if you want to fish, you can fish out of the Jazz. If you want to cruise, you can cruise out of the Jazz. And if you want to go crazy on the waters, you can go crazy on the waters with the Jazz.
How much is something like this gonna run?
John, when I tell you the price, you're not going to believe it. You can be on this boat for $10,995. That's a complete package deal.
Now, when you're talking complete package, what are you talking about?
Boat, motor, and trailer.
That's unbelievable. Under $11,000, you're going to be able to get into boating. What would that equate, monthly payment-wise?
Under $200 a month.
That's fantastic. Let's talk about Boatorama. Now, you guys have this slogan called, you know, you're the home of the big boat show with no admission price.
True.
You guys have 72,000 square feet of air-conditioned showroom. That's like mind-boggling.
3 different locations,
Okay.
John. 3 different locations. Our main store is in Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
441 between Griffin and 84.
Okey-doke.
We've been there 40 years.
Unbelievable. Nice.
Our Miami store, 135th Street, North Miami Beach, Biscayne Boulevard, right on the water.
Real easy to find. What about the third location, Carlos?
Pompano Beach,
Okay.
Federal, and Pulpit.
So you cover the whole area. So there's a Boatorama near you, and you're looking at, because you guys buy so many boats, because you buy the volume, you're passing those savings along to people.
Yes, we do. What we do is we do a lot of volume. okay? And then the savings that we get from the company,
Right.
we pass it to our customers.
That's unbelievable. Carlos, thanks so much for showing us the Bayliner Jazz, and thanks for being on the show.
John, thank you.
We'll see you next week.
For sure.
Got it.
Don't drift away. ShipShape will be right back.
I am so thankful for sponsors like RPM Diesel Engine Company in Fort Lauderdale, Boathouse Discount Marine in Melbourne, and Wellman Enterprises, a really nice boat painter in Palm Beach, for sponsoring my show. These clients and more believe in what we're trying to do here at ShipShape, bring the marine industry into every living room here in Florida. And we're trying to bring the boat owner some information as well as a little entertainment, and it's working. If this sounds like something you want to get involved in, give us a call at area code 407-626-1439. We'll send out one of our marketing professionals to show you just how affordable and how effective ShipShape TV can really be. Give us a call today.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble